It seems like Cardi B's luck is taking a turn for the worse lately. First, she's tangled in a highly publicized divorce with Offset. Then she finds herself caught up in drama with her supposed rebound, Stefan Diggs, who turns out to be more trouble than she's bargained for. And now, just when she thought her treasured maze bags were her personal little piece of luxury, it turns out they might have been manufactured in China. Talk about a shocking twist. Nah, there's no way this is real. But if there's one thing that's always made Cardi smile, it's those Birkin bags. They've been her little emotional crutches, always by her side. Birkin bags are the ultimate symbol of luxury, an undeniable flex in the world of high fashion. Cardi B, a woman known for her unapologetic personality and larger-than-life presence, has always been one to wear her wealth proudly, flaunting those iconic bags with the same enthusiasm that she shows for her music career. For her, those bags weren't just accessories. They were status symbols, markers of success and representations of her hustle. Now, just like her BDL, body darling, folks are claiming even those aren't the real deal. And that's what we call an emotional recession, y'all. Imagine it. Cardi's high-spirited swagger deflated by the thought that her beloved Birkins might not be all they were cracked up to be. These bags, which were once the holy grail of her material world, might just be losing their shine. The same bags that turned heads at red carpets, made her feel on top of the world, and represented everything she had worked for now are suddenly up for scrutiny. Can you even fathom the emotional impact? It's like finding out that your favorite designer shoes were actually made in a factory somewhere far less glamorous than you'd ever imagined. That, my friends, is what we call emotional recession. But hold up, don't rush to conclusions. This story isn't just about Cardi losing her cool over handbags. There's a deeper layer to this that speaks to the larger conversation happening in the fashion world. When luxury brands like Birkin, Chanel, and Louis Vuitton are exposed to being part of a system that might be feeding into this inflated price for products that cost a fraction to make, it becomes more than just a personal letdown. It becomes a commentary on how society values things like status, exclusivity, and the idea of luxury. For someone like Cardi, who worked her way from humble beginnings to owning a piece of that dream, finding out that her Birkins might not even be authentic in the way she believed could feel like a betrayal. The idea of luxury and exclusivity is built on the notion that you're getting something rare, something made with the utmost care, and something that carries an inherent worth because of its craftsmanship. But what happens when that idea gets shattered? What happens when the carefully constructed world of designer fashion unravels, revealing that the bags you've been idolizing might have been mass-produced in a factory like any other purse, just with a fancy name slapped on it? It shakes you to your core. For Cardi, the Birkin was more than just a bag. It represented her rise to the top, the proof that she had made it. Every time she got a new one, it was like a small victory lap, a reminder of how far she had come from, the days of stripping to pay her bills. She was owning her success, wearing it as proudly as her blinged-out jewelry and designer clothes. But now, as the narrative shifts, the emotional weight of that bag changes. It's no longer just a flex, it's a question mark. What this situation highlights is a larger shift in how we view luxury. The age-old concept of luxury has always been tied to craftsmanship, artistry, and the exclusivity of the product. But what happens when the machine behind that luxury is revealed to be less about artistry and more about profit margins? The line between genuine luxury and mass-produced status symbols starts to blur, and the very notion of luxury becomes more about marketing than true craftsmanship. As the drama unfolds, it's clear that this isn't just about Cardi or her collection of Birkins. It's about what happens when the public gets a peek behind the curtain of an industry that thrives on mystery and exclusivity. It forces us to question what we're really buying into when we invest in luxury items and whether we're purchasing the product or the fantasy that comes with it. And for people like Cardi who have worked so hard to reach the pinnacle of that luxury world, the realization that the fantasy might be more of a mirage than they ever expected can be nothing short of devastating. Oh, it's way deeper than that. Ever since the China-US trade tensions turned up the heat, hotter than Cardi B's mixtapes, the luxury goods industry has been rocked by a huge expose. Now, celebs are spiraling. Let's kick things off with Miss Skiim's Supreme herself, Kim Kardashian, who had the nerve to step in and say, "I know everyone wants this to be true, but it's not. Okay, Kimberly, we see you. Very press release. Very public statement. But then the queen of soft launches, Kylie Jenner, chimed in with the deeply profound, "This is so crazy." Yeah, real poetic and thought-provoking. But even Zendaya, who usually keeps her distance like it's her job, couldn't stay quiet. She dropped a casual response, which, let's be real, when Zendaya speaks, you know it's serious. Her black side was definitely coming through. Then, of course, Bella Hadid wasn't about to miss out on the drama. She went online and said, "Anyone can say this is true, but girl, are you claiming it's fake or not?" And then, Naomi, "I walk in storms, Campbell?" She wasn't holding back. This is disrespectful to all the craftsmanship behind these brands, period. Naomi came out swinging, no hesitation. But just when we thought this was about to go full tabloid mode, here comes the godfather of leather slander, Tanner Leather. Stain. If you don't know Tanner, he's the viral sensation on TikTok, YouTube, and IG who cuts into designer bags like it's a steak at a Texas roadhouse. He's notorious for slicing open $5,000 purses just to tell us if they feel like luxury or a wet napkin. People tried to pin the China rumors on him too, but Tanner quickly shut that down, saying, "Y'all need to relax. I never said Hermès or LVMH bags are made in China. I'm just a dude who cuts them open and tells you if they're luxury or if they're giving lunch bag vibes. Let me be clear, I never said any of those things." And that's when the heat really cranked up. Now people are asking, okay, if Chinese manufacturers are telling the truth, where's the proof? They want to see the emails, the invoices, the shipping logs, basically the receipts. And honestly, that's a fair point. But let's keep it real. If these luxury brands were actually exposing their bags as made in China, it would be career suicide. They'd be biting the very luxury hand that feeds them. Those bags were meant to stay hush-hush. No one wants to admit that their $25,000 bag was stitched next to someone's order for a $20 knockoff. But I gotta give it to the luxury crew. They're coming back swinging like seasoned pros. One person even said, "Everyone thinks an 85-year-old 7th generation artisan named Geppetto is out here making those bags by hand." Not Geppetto, though. Everything from the pricing to the bags themselves, it's like I just can't wrap my head around it. A lot of these luxury brands actually own their own manufacturing and even source products from farms they own. Take Hermès, for example. They own their own tanneries and crocodile and alligator farms, have workshops in France, and most of their bags are made by a single artisan. But here's the million-dollar question. Why are people defending these brands like it's a matter of life or death? It's giving my self-worth depends on my designer closet energy. You really believe this man is crafting your Birkin in China? If he's a Birkin artisan, then I'm an astronaut. But let's break this down. To understand why this is such a big deal, just take a minute to consider this. Y'all, that right there, that's how some of y'all treat these Hermès bags. Like it's not just a purse, it's your life source. Oxygen? Who? That lady was one joyful exhale away from passing out. Now, imagine telling her that all that Cloud9 energy she had was over a bag that might have been made for $400 in a random factory in Shenzhen. Oh, girl, that's how you catch a designer slap, straight across the face. Monogram included. Hello, LV on the cheek. But that's exactly why so many luxury shoppers are spiraling right now like their Dior heels just snapped mid-step. And honestly, can you blame them? TikTok is in full-blown meltdown mode after Chinese factory workers started posting videos claiming they're the ones making all these made in France and crafted in Italy bags. I need y'all to wake up and start thinking critically. And stop blindly believing everything you see on TikTok, okay? And no, we're not talking about your average tote here. We're talking about those 7,000 and up kind of bags. The ones you have to schedule an entire appointment just to be told maybe, just maybe, you're worthy of purchasing. Now suddenly, folks who thought they were flexing Parisian elegance are starting to question if their prized possession came from a fluorescent lit factory in Gwangju, with a production cost that's more budget-friendly than they ever imagined. Allegedly, some of these bags only cost around $400 to produce. And yet, they're being sold for $7,000. And that's before factoring in the gold-plated hardware or the limited edition seasonal colors that sell out in 12 seconds. These TikTokers are posting like they just found out their bags were cheating on them. 1 minute, you're in love. And the next, you're sobbing into your Fendi scarf. Like, you mean to tell me my Chanel isn't sipping espresso with French artisans? Y'all, it's straight up betrayal, heartbreak, full-on denial. It's like catching your man in 4K and he's out here acting like Shaggy. It wasn't me. But let's be real for a second. For just a millisecond, imagine yourself in their shoes. You finally did it. You budgeted. Maybe saved for months, or even swiped that card or used that CLA, knowing you'd be eating noodles and trauma for the next 3 paychecks. You walked into that boutique, palms sweating, knees weak, arms heavy, stomach turning, mom's spaghetti, but not Eminem. I mean, you were ready to risk it all. And then you walked out with that bag. A Birkin, a Chanel, a Gucci. The bag that makes strangers do double takes and has your mama whispering, "How much was that again?" You spent thousands, maybe tens of thousands, convincing yourself it was worth it because it's luxury, right? It's artisanal. It's handcrafted. It's sewn by French grandmas under a full moon while sipping espresso, blessed by a priest in Milan. Or so you thought. But now these Chinese manufacturers are coming out swinging. They're posting factory videos, pricing, breakdowns, photos, and step-by-step tutorials on how these bags are allegedly getting made. The internet is in chaos right now. People are spiraling like their entire identity just got snatched along with their overpriced purse. Our artisans, they need years of training, 4 to be exact, to be able to manufacture a Kelly bag. What you just saw with that perlage, you need to be very skilled, very, very good to pull that off. But let's keep it real. These claims haven't been fully verified yet. Some of them could just be replicas. Others might be salty ex-employees trying to stir things up for clout. But no matter who's telling the truth, one thing's undeniable. The luxury community is in shambles, like an Oscar-worthy meltdown. Y'all, cue the Viola Davis snot, because this is a full-blown soap opera out here. People are defending their bags like they're defending their bloodline. House of Dragon style or House of Burdens, take your pick. And guess what? This drama's just getting started. This rabbit hole is deep, y'all. You better stay strapped in. Some of y'all are shook, like full on, I'm canceling vacations and eating noodles for months. Levels of regret, and y'all, they did it. 2 years of saving, budgeting, side hustling, and saying no to everything just to get your hands on a piece of that so-called luxury life, only to find out it was made for less than a pair of Jordans. It's giving full-on identity crisis. So while some are spiraling, others are straight up in denial mode. They're out here yelling, "It's fake. That's not my dad. Gays would never," like they're defending a cheating ex in public. I don't care, it's still iconic. Girl, be for real. So go ahead and buy your DH-Gate bag, or whatever bag you're eyeing, and see how it holds up over the years. Trust me, Hermès is not losing any sleep over it. But let's keep it a buck and talk about something no one's mentioning. Why are their reactions totally valid? Because luxury was never just about the bag. It was always about the fantasy. It's the exclusivity, the soft lighting, the doorman who greets you with a madam like you're royalty. That bougie moment when they hand you a lukewarm glass of sparkling something while you wait 40 minutes just to touch a $25,000 coin purse. It's not just a bag, it's a whole vibe. It's the silent, I'm not one of y'all energy that hits you when you walk into brunch and everyone stops chewing because your big old bag just walked in the room. But then, when the Chinese manufacturer worker hops on TikTok and breaks down your $20,000 bag, $370 for materials, $50 for labor, $15 for packaging, and boom, the internet finds out the emperor has no stitching. And just like that, it's emotional damage in HD. Like call your best friend and scream into a pillow type of pain. The kind that makes you stare at your bag like you've just been lied to right in your face. Just a bold-faced lie. But here's where it gets interesting. The fashion girls already knew. The insiders? They've been new. The ones who read ingredients lists on face creams and watch luxury exposies for fun? They clocked that scene ages ago. But what's new is that now, everybody knows. And when the curtain drops for the masses, baby, it just hits different. It confirms that sneaky little voice in your head that you've always tried to ignore. Wait, is this bag even really worth all this? And that's when it gets personal. Bestie, because luxury isn't just a thing. It's a feeling. It's an identity. It's the belonging, the confidence, the silent badge of I did it. There's even a whole psychological term for it: symbolic consumption. We don't just wear things for function, we wear them for meaning. So when that meaning gets threatened, when someone's like, yo, that $25,000 Birkin might be worth $400 on a good day, it's not just a wallet issue, it's a soul punch. Your brain goes, nah, I refuse to believe I got played. And then comes the spiral: denial, defense, and yes, pure rage. Because nothing stings harder than realizing you paid 5 figures for a bag that might have been stitched up in a factory that's making lunchboxes. Hermès doesn't care if you think their bags are made in China. They don't care if you're going to buy fake Birkins from China, because it means you still want Birkins. The only reason you're buying a fake Birkin is because you don't have enough money. So, let's really tell the truth. It's giving scandal. But now, everybody and their grandma already knows this mess didn't just pop out of nowhere. At the same time, this standoff might explain why many people believe Chinese manufacturers are simply behaving like jilted lovers. Of course, Trump kicked off this chaos. Not so long ago, the US imposed unreasonable taxes on all goods from China. And just like that, the tension was at an all-time high, tighter than a fresh sew-in. But some behind-the-scenes folks decided they'd had enough. They didn't show up with press conferences and peace talks. No, they came with screenshots, receipts, and their plan was petty genius, absolutely diabolical. So, basically, some factories and middlemen, the folks who allegedly make the luxury bags, were like, oh, y'all want to play games with our coin? Cool. Let's show the world what these bags really cost to make. And boom, just like that, they started exposing production prices, not in private email chains, but on the internet. Your whole TikTok timeline was open for the world to see. And it hit hard because once buyers saw that the bag, which was supposed to cost $20,000, was made from maybe $372 worth of materials, a few dollars in labor, and $15 in packaging, minds were blown. Suddenly, that exclusive luxury wasn't looking so exclusive. It just looked expensive, and not in a cute way. Now, whether all those rumors and numbers are 100% accurate, nobody knows. But the conversations they started are real. Because the folks realizing they might have been flexing a glorified,